Okay.
So we've got something new. We're gonna try.
Yes, we're gonna try it.
Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. So
I think it's gonna be fun, and we were going to watch a particular movie. I watched the movie. Craig got so busy, like housework and stuff, so he couldn't watch it. So he's gonna watch it today, and then it's like, hey, let's push the podcast up a little bit. And he's like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to watch the movie. And I'm like, what do we do? And we came up with this idea at the same freaking time. How about we have a segment where, like, if I watch a movie and he hasn't, I explain to him why he needs to watch the movie. So I'll be essentially explaining it to the audience why they need to watch this movie also. And he's like, wow, that's great. And then he added more to it.
yes. So not only that, why don't we do the opposite end of the spectrum? Because I've seen a movie that Randy hasn't. So I'm going to tell him why he should not
Yes.
watch a film.
Well, Craig basically knew there's no way I'm going to see this fucking film. And he's like, you know what? He's like, since I really care about you,
Yeah.
I will watch it for you.
I will do this for you.
Yes.
I will do this for you. And for anybody else that haven't seen it.
That doesn't want to see
it. But,
so, yeah.
yes. So,
this could be really good.
I think so. So we've came up with View It or Screw It.
Yeah. And that's not in a John Holmes kind of screw it.
No, not that kind of screwing.
No.
I mean,
don't John Holmes that.
My eyeballs felt assaulted, maybe
assaulted,
and not
more salt than these.
I mean, it was consensual to start out with, but I didn't want to continue. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
View it or screw it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right. So let's start with View It.
Let's start with View It. Okay.
All right.
So I watched the movie Oddity last night. And I've been, I saw a trailer for it, and the trailer never really piqued my interest. It's like, I don't know. And, it has if you've seen the trailer, it has this like wooden mannequin type thing that, everyone's like, oh, it's creepy. And I'm like, Creep Show 2, the wooden Indian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So like, it's not real. It's not creepy.
Yeah.
But so I'm watching the movie, and I was really surprised of how tense the movie made me feel, how uneasy it made me feel, how the sound design in this movie is incredible too. And the acting is all good and everything. And I really don't want to give anything away, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in the film that I wasn't expecting, because the trailer is really leads you to believe it's a slower paced movie, which it is, but the visuals in this film are stunning. I love everything about this film. And it's haunting, it's scary, it's unnerving, and some of the things that you're hoping will happen in the film, I'm not going to tell you if they happen or not, but I wasn't disappointed. I was not disappointed at all. So, I think everyone should go see this film. It's a psychological horror film. It's probably, some people would probably call it elevated horror. But, I can go on and on and on about why you should see it. The story is simple. It's about a brutal murder of a woman and her sister, who runs this like antique shop of cursed items.
Okay.
Shows up at the house because the husband of her sister already has a new girlfriend. So it's really suspicious what's going on. Oh, maybe she killed her, maybe he killed her sister, and
Ooh.
and so there's that mystery going on also. And and it's just yeah, it's perfect. And the cursed, and the mannequin, yes, it's a cursed item. It is. And a first look at it, it's like, yeah, it is a little creepy in the film. But the further along you go in the film, that thing gets creepier and
Oh.
creepier. The thing's sitting at the table. And it's sitting at the table for I don't know how many scenes. And a character like turns away, does something else, and boom, it's moved.
Hmm.
It's like looking up or something. It's always has its mouth agape. And yeah, it really gets on your nerves in a good way. So, and the ending, I thought it had a strong, solid ending too, which is yeah, which is hard. Yeah, I like it better than Long Legs.
Oh.
So,
Oh my.
and you know how much I like Long
Yeah.
Legs.
All
So,
right.
I
That's
mean, those movies right there, both of them, great double feature. If you want to be like unnerved after pulling your hair out and crazy shit. Yeah, cinematography in this movie's great. A lot of shadows. So, and what we do in the shadows. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's my verdict. 1 to 10. I'm gonna turn the amp up to 11 on this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I
All
fucking loved it.
right.
I
All
loved it.
right.
And I know horror is subjective. There's movies that I love because of the horror aspect, and you're like, what? That wasn't scary.
It sounds like this is with the psychological aspect and the uneasiness and things you explained is right up my alley because there's one thing I love most about horror movies in today's day and age is feeling something because
Oh yes, definitely.
it's hard to do that with seasoned horror fans. It's really hard to get a rise out of a viewer or anything like
Right.
that. So
And I watched this thing with a small group of friends, and we were outside, you know, 16-foot screen,
ooh,
watching it under the stars, and I can't tell you enough of how I appreciated sound design in this movie, because there's something that happens with the mannequin. The sound design they do with it is like, oh my god, it it is scary. It is scary. So trust me. it
sounds like it's a good film for those who have
it
been
it is.
desensitized over time to
Yes,
horror
definitely,
and things
definitely.
like
Because
that. So just
and there are deaths in the film, and you don't
in
really
a horror movie.
yes, you don't really see them happen. You kind of hear them happen,
Ooh,
and that's what makes the sound design. I mean, that's what makes the film. And you see the aftermath of, and Michael Myers would be happy.
sounds
Jason Voorhees
fantastic.
Jason Voorhees would be happy.
This has been one of the better
Oh
years for
yes,
horror films
yes,
in quite some
yes,
time, especially on a wider scale level. I don't think we've
yes.
seen this many wider release good horror
Oh
films
yes,
in
yes,
years.
yes.
So
And
that's I know we've talked about that in past videos, but that's super exciting to
yeah,
see that.
and we still have, I'm hopeful for Salem's Lot. Okay, extremely hopeful for Nosferatu.
Oh yes.
So the year's not over yet. And then, at the first of the year, I'm kind of worried about the Wolfman, but
Um,
which you're not hearing a lot about. But I saw some early reviews, like test audiences and
yeah,
everything, loved it.
yeah. That's I was
So
reading about that earlier, and so far people have loved it. So
yeah,
now,
so
of
I'm
course, we
like,
have to take that with a grain of salt, but
yeah, but that film is like, it's a family and in their farmhouse
mhm.
being terrorized by a wolfman, which doesn't really sound like a remake of the Wolfman to
Yeah,
me, because it's not.
yeah,
It's been remade
yeah.
already.
We already did it.
What else can you do?
Yeah.
Well, let's do let's do Night of the Living Dead, with
Yeah.
a werewolf.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's
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 interesting.
what I was thinking. It made me think about
Yes, yes, yeah. Late phases.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But we were also in our recent top 10 video, we were talking about a couple Bigfoot / Sasquatch
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
ones,
yeah, yeah.
and it
Yes,
made me
yes,
think about how much I love Legend of Boggy Creek, because a lot of it is happening at the house in the woods, the cabin,
yes, yes.
and I love that feeling of dread and isolation, and
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think we've had a full werewolf film where that's the soul the whole time.
Right,
Usually we
right,
get a little
right.
bit, but I guess Bad Moon was kind of close
Yeah, Bad
to
Moon was
that.
close, but I'm really wanting to see a werewolf film that takes place in the city.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So
We need more city werewolf
we
carnage,
do, we
like
do.
the climax of American Werewolf in London,
Yes,
the bit
I
we
love
get
that.
in the Wolfman remake.
Yeah, the very little bit of of Eddie the Mangler carnage
Yes,
from The
yes,
Howling,
yeah.
Eddie Quist. So
So overall, Oddity is definitely a view it. It sounds like
yes, it's
so. I
definitely a
need
view
to
it.
view it soon, and
Yes,
then we're
yes,
probably going to do an episode on it because it sounds
probably
like we're both going to enjoy it. We're going to want to discuss it, so
right.
probably that will be coming to the audience soon.
Yes.
Now, the unfortunate part of this video.
Hang on, hang on. Change up here. Okay, here we go. I got my RDJs
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I
Oh, he's
went.
praying already. Like, oh, how do I? Oh.
I recently, well, actually, it was a week or two ago now. I don't know.
Did you say bleak?
Bleak is one way to put it. I went and I saw The Crow on opening weekend. And Randy knows, and probably a good chunk of our viewers know, at least by now from me mentioning it or by knowing me personally, the original Crow is my absolute favorite film of all time.
It's one of
Uh,
mine too. I think
and
it's a
the
lot of people's favorite film.
the fact that I can ignore my love of the original and not even talk about the connections to the original film and explain how bad it is just outside of that is the testament to, to how awful the Crow remake is. Because it at the end of the day, it really doesn't have anything to do with my love for the original, because it's so far removed. Um, and you come to expect this stuff with films that have spent years and years and years in development hell. You eventually gain footing, and you get some decent star power behind it, like Bill Skarsgård. I remember hearing finally that they cast him, which we've been through. I don't know how many different iterations of people.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa, Bradley Cooper,
Yeah,
Luke Evans, Tom Hiddleston at one point. Like, there's
yeah,
been,
yeah.
and none of them were, I don't think, awful choices
No,
necessarily. But when I heard Bill was finally on board, I was like, yes, all right, Bill, fantastic actor. I honestly, in my opinion, I mean, I love his father's work, but he might be the most talented Skarsgård, in my opinion. He's
yeah,
phenomenal, phenomenal,
yeah.
and he's got physicality, the correct build for the character, and that everything was kept kind of hush. We didn't know what kind of remake this was going to be. Me
I still
personally,
don't know.
I was hoping for a more direct remake of the original comic.
Right.
Because it would make sense if you're going to remake The Crow and you want to remake it different. A smart choice would be follow the book verbatim.
Right, like what the Coen brothers did with True Grit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because there's no way you can remake the iconic John Wayne film.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And but of course, doing completely new and unique ideas is great and fantastic too,
mm-hmm.
if executed properly. And
Keywords right there,
I
executed properly.
I don't think I can honestly say there is one single redeeming quality of this film at
Oh
all.
my god.
And cast, crew included. I don't know what went on during the making of this film,
Oh,
but not
lots.
even Bill himself was able to save the film. Even Bill is I didn't find him to be that good in the film itself either. Very
I find that interesting.
yeah. I was kind of blown away at the fact that I at least just be like, well, at least I can watch a great actor on screen.
Yeah.
And Danny Houston was the main villain, another great actor. I thought maybe I could get some enjoyment out of that. Nope. We won't even go into the villain, but I can't begin to describe how much I hated that. Because we're gonna go spoiler free. I don't want to, ruin anything in case there's people that want to see it.
Yeah,
But
you may, sadomasochist. I don't know.
there's a slight part of me that wants to tell people, watch it so you can understand my pure distaste for this film from top to bottom. Nothing worked. Nothing at all. Not a single thing about it. Pacing was treacherous. Just awful. Sound design, mediocre. Acting, below subpar for everybody included, which is just mind-boggling.
Wow. Okay. Huh?
Honestly, there were lots of interviews and things and that I watched and read, cast, crew with the film, and how much they wanted to either pay homage or pay their respects to the original film. Which of course the whole story with Brandon Lee and everything like that. But honestly, after viewing this movie, I can't take it any other way but almost just. It's so bad that we're almost shitting on the film itself.
So
the
you've
original.
been John Holmes.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost disgraceful to the original film and how really poorly everything is about this movie. I haven't struggled this much.
And you said Danny Houston wasn't very good in it
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, if you've seen Danny Houston in another film before, it's like everybody was just reeling it in for a paycheck, and I get that to a certain extent, but there's actors of certain caliber that even when they're doing that, you expect to at least enjoy it. But all of the creative, I use that word loosely, choices they made with the film are just horrendous.
The wrong choices.
I don't think anybody involved understands the story.
Apparently not.
I just don't think they do. And that's incredibly important to the film. And yes, there's a lot of people out there that are going to make fun of The Crow or the franchise or the existence of it because it did spend some time in that era of gothy hot topic.
Oh yeah,
it was kind of cool to hate for a little bit because it brings a certain, but also in today's day and age, the Crow, the original film, and the comic book / graphic novel is highly regarded and how phenomenal both are.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Lee was the perfect Eric Draven.
Oh, insane! We don't have time.
Right. We don't have time.
I don't even know if I ever want to even do a cast on the original of The Crow because I don't know how to not just keep talking for actual hours.
Yeah.
And then for our viewers to be like, there's something wrong with that guy because he's obsessed with that film and everything about it.
Yeah.
But again, it for how much I love the original, I'm finding it hard to express the words to convey that, like, the fact that I love the original doesn't play into the negative things about the remake because it's so far removed and doesn't even have anything to do with it that the reason I dislike it has nothing to do with the original film. It's just
you would have hated if there was if there was an original, a sequel, and a TV series. If there wasn't any of that, you'd hate it.
Yes. Okay. If this film was the first The Crow, I would
Yeah,
still
there
hate
you
it.
go.
It's just incredibly poor filmmaking.
Oh,
It is just it's bad. It's awful.
yeah,
I don't think I can honestly not recall the last time I struggled through a film in the movie theater like that. The
hmm.
pacing was so off and it was so unbearable at times. I felt like it was 4 hours long. People were constantly
Ooh.
getting up. Everybody else, which there wasn't a whole lot of people in the theater, but people were got up multiple times to go to the restroom. The same people multiple times. Like that's how bad this is. Like I wasn't the only one. I wasn't just throwing a fit in my seat because I love the original Crow. Like it's just so screw this film.
So on an amplifier that goes 1 to 10.
I you know what? You grab some gasoline and you drench the amplifier in that gasoline and then you light a match.
So
That's what you do.
walking out of the theater,
Hmm.
did you gather everyone that was in the theater around and say, "Victims, aren't we
Yeah.
all?" Okay.
It was horrible.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
so silent walking out. Usually there's a little chatter between people,
Right.
but it dead silence. Like I felt the need to whisper. I went and watched the movie with my father, who's a huge fan also, and that's kind of the reason we went because it's kind of we went and saw the original together, favorite movie of all time, so we had to go see the remake, just cuz.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I would rather watch the Edward Furlong Crow sequel than
I
watch this
and the
movie
thing,
again.
I haven't seen that one either.
Don't do that.
So
Screw that movie too. But
okay,
if
got
given the
two for the
choice,
price of one
if they're
here.
like, "Hey, which one do you want to watch?" I'd be like, "The Crow Wicked Prayer," because I can't.
The what was the second sequel? It
City
was
of
City of the
Angels.
Angels.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot film,
Yes.
but
Yes.
it just
Beautifully shot
yeah,
film.
it's
And it had, honestly, of the sequels, because I mean they're all awful, but City of Angels is at least watchable. And speaking of beauty, I think in a nutshell, that's what the new Crow completely missed. The fact of how much actual beauty is within the story of the Crow,
oh yeah,
because it's a love story.
yeah. And from what I
Uh,
understand, this is half of the film is that love story, and then the other half is the revenge.
it kind
Which
of.
which I mean, okay, compare it to Brandon Lee
Mhm,
and the love story that was in the beginning of that movie and how
mhm.
short lived it was.
Yeah.
But you knew right away that
Yes.
Shelley and Eric were totally madly,
Yes.
and I mean, they were soulmates.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were able to convey that in small snippets and flashbacks throughout the original film.
and better filmmaking.
This movie, they had to spend half the movie doing that, and it still was not
It
believable.
fell flat.
It
Okay.
it not even flat. It's not even love in this new film. It's lust at
Wow.
most.
Okay. Yeah.
It's completely,
Been there, done that. Got
everything
the
about
T-shirt.
it's unbelievable. It's
Wow.
just, I don't even know why it's named The Crow, honestly. Other than they use Eric and Shelley's name.
IP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I really hope that Nosferatu in December is fantastic, because I'm actively worried about Bill's future in Hollywood.
Well,
This is the kind of movie that will tank a career.
ooh,
Yeah.
well, it's probably a good thing Nosferatu is coming out after this
Yes.
then,
Yes.
because I mean, everything he's done up until till the Crow, the point of the Crow, uh, um, has been great.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and is pretty much. I'm sure there's things I would have to look up a filmography of Bill, but nothing
Yeah.
comes to mind that I'm like, that was an absolute heaping pile of dog shit like The Crow was. Um, yeah, haha, Crow. It was caca. Dad jokes. So, at the end of the day, Oddity, view it.
View it.
The Crow, Screw it.
And
Not in a good way.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
I hope you enjoyed our new snippet. Let us know what you thought. If you want to see more of these, the View It and Screw It. I like the dynamic because at the end of the day, it's hard to make sure that we're seeing the same film at the same time with the new stuff every single time. Lives are busy. As much as we would love for this to literally be our only job, it's not. So, families, life, jobs. But this is a cool aspect to kind of bridge that gap for us. And also at the end of the day to tell each other, hey, you should watch this movie or don't do it. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe.
John Holmes, I like that.
That's right.